We're live.
Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. If you guys are new here, don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. Pick up our sponsors. LB 20 to get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com. Also, go check out Fanatics, official partners of La Liga and Real Madrid. Probably the biggest sports apparel collection online. Also, go show some love to Talksport as well. Everything on LBR is officially powered by the Talksport Fan Network. Farooq, we have been here before this season. Conversations have happened regarding whether we deserve to win the league or, do we, really, can we really stake a claim that we were good enough this season? But yeah, tonight was another indication that we aren't really quite good enough. But people can interpret it multiple ways. But for me, at least, I felt like we tried. We threw the kitchen sink at it. We created a bucket load of chances. It just wasn't our day. But what's your take on this, man? This is Valencia's first away win this season, first win at the Bernabeu since 2008. This is a massive, massive night for them.
Exactly, man. I kind of disagree with you when you said we threw the kitchen
Mm,
sink thing. I just felt
yeah.
do you recall the sequence of what happened with the last goal that we considered? Can you remember what happened?
I'm
Okay,
so
let me
angry
just
that I can't really
let
remember,
me
but
let me
I
let me
know.
replay it for you.
Okay.
Chouameni to Rodrigo. Rodrigo headed the ball, then it went to Diakabi. Diakabi hit the ball away, and then
Hmm.
what's it called? Hugo Duro won the header. Chouameni was literally there looking at Hugo Duro like he was watching a movie, bro. Like the way we were watching the game. He was watching him. The guy won the header. He won the header. The ball went to Rafa Mir. For some reason, Alaba decided that, oh, I'm just going to stay back, withdraw back and let Rafa Mir go past me. Bro, you're a fucking defender. Your job is to defend, prevent people from moving past you. He moved away and went. Cool, that's one. It's done. Duro went, Mir went,
Yeah.
Rafa Mir went, Hugo Duro attacked the box. He attacked the box, and there were two people. The two last men was Fede Valverde and Camavinga. Valverde,
Mm.
for some reason, decided that, nah, this is not for me, and left Camavinga to go. You understand? Camavinga went because Alaba had, stepped back for Rafa Mir to go through. Camavinga had to go back, Rafa Mir, Hugo Duro was all alone. David Alaba, of course, will never catch him. David Alaba has never been the fastest person ever. So what
Yeah.
happens? It's a free header in the box for Hugo Duro. The game goes. This is a sequence for people that want to win the league. You're like fighting to win the league, bro. You
At
look at
home.
David Alaba, Chouameni,
Yeah.
Camavinga, Fede Valverde. All four of them decided that, nah, this is not my business. And then, of course, yeah, you have the center back of the day, Rudiger playing as a false nine, or I don't know whatever it is, if it's a number 9 or whatever.
He almost did score, if he wasn't
But
a.
I mean, if you want for effort, man, I don't know, man. Like that's the thing. Like we can force
Mm,
the coaches as much as we want, but like the point is they cannot force these players to do stuff. They cannot force these players to do stuff. Yeah, I mean, I feel like today's game was on Carlo Ancelotti, but also the players just didn't show up. They played
mm,
120 minutes, I think, in the middle of the week. Maybe that's a reason why you have to, give that to that as well. But the point is, the game in the middle of the
yeah.
week shouldn't have gone to 120 minutes in the first place.
Mm,
Considered 6 goals in the space of how many days from teams that are placed 10th or below in La Liga. 6 games, 6 goals at the Bernabeu in the space of 3 days from teams placed 10th and below in La Liga. That's crazy, bro. Barcelona put 7-5 past Valencia. 12 goals in 2 games. 12.
yeah. Yeah.
12, bro.
I mean, what can I say? What can I say? The only caveat is the fact that at least I still do believe that there is a slight chance. If there was a 40%, 30% chance earlier, now it's what, 10, 15. But I still believe there is a minute chance that we might be able to pull this off. But again, tonight, like you said, um, individual performances. I have discussed about this countless times. We lack players that are purely, or how can I put this, defense oriented. I mean, the sense that the first instinct is to how to
Pure
stop a goal.
defenders. Pure
Yeah,
defenders.
pure,
And
pure, pure defenders.
I will say,
Mm,
I will put a name there, man. Like Raul Asensio,
mm,
I think that's the reason why we fall in love with him. Because for him,
mm,
his goal first and foremost is to defend. He's a no nonsense defender. I think
Yeah.
that's something. But I totally get what you're saying. Like we lack players whose job first and foremost is to defend and then do everything later on.
Mm. Fede, I think for the sequence that you mentioned, I think he pulled away because, bro, I'm telling you, he's playing through injury, and he's been injured for a good 2 months. Like, like I've I've ran out of excuses for Carlo and his stuff to make, but this is something that they can truly avoid. But how can a team function without Fede? I mean, it's impossible. So they just play him through everything they can. Up until he's on crutches, he is literally on the pitch. So
Actually,
yeah,
like I
mm,
understand where you're coming from, but there have been
mm,
games that we did not need to play Federico Valverde. Like I remember there were like even Copa del Rey games where they were still bringing on Fede. Like literally,
yeah,
the whole squad and their grandparents are based in
mm,
Madrid. We are going to play, a second, third division team, and Fede Valverde is still on the bench. He's still
mm.
making the trip. I do understand what you're saying. Of course, like we need Fede. Like he's someone
But
that we
in
rely
those
on.
games, I do believe he makes a trip or comes on to keep his match sharpness going. Uh,
But
That's
see,
the
that's
only
that's the thing. Then,
explanation.
like, I mean, you have to
Mm,
find the balance between this, and that's why I say like it's
yeah,
also on the coach because when people talk about there's a lack of chemistry, there's a lack of this. It's the coach's job to develop this chemistry. It's the coach's job to be able to understand how to manage the fatigue of these players. You understand? I do know like Fede has been overused, and maybe even misused. Or you can say like he's played too
mm,
much matches, and today we saw he was on the receiving end of two stupid tackles from Omar Sadiq. Like it's crazy. Like those tackles could have literally been any other thing. We got really lucky that it was just
yeah,
a knock that he was able to to play off. But yeah, it's again this is the thing. Like these people need to know, the coaches need to have you know a plan of how to keep these players in line. But then again, it's not just about the coaches. You rightly pointed now that we actually have defenders that do not defend, which means that there's also a lack of there's been something that has been highlighted a lot of time. There's been a misplanning or rather mismanagement from the board as well. The players are just not there.
yeah.
We
Even
ended up
even even someone like Rudiger, who was supposed to be our go-to man, right? Like if we didn't really discover Raul Asensio, which by all accounts was a happenstance, was basically things falling into place for him, for us, for everyone involved. But Rudiger was our main man in defense, and this season, I did argue with you. I think 3-4 months ago, where I mentioned that Rudiger still has you know s- a game to him that that he has carried on from last year's success. But looking at games like tonight, looking at the Sociedad game, it just basically forces me to comply with your notion that Rudiger has fallen off. He isn't the 9.5, 8.5 defender that he was last year. He more or less he's a 7, 6.5 at times. Even tonight for the um, for the opening goal. I mean, the way Diakabi beats Rudiger, I mean, makes him look weak, makes him look, 5 foot. I'll be honest. Rudiger's a towering menace to deal with. For him to be manhandled by Diakabi, who has played 3 league games this season, if I'm not wrong. He has been out for 9 months, came in back as captain. Um, almost scored an own goal. That's an entire different story. But for him to basically, sit down Rudiger again, this zonal marking, I don't know, man. I don't know where we are headed with this. I watched Arsenal's game a couple hours back. The whip with which Declan Rice puts the ball in. May God help us, man. Honestly, you know, um, Chomini won't be enough. Pere won't be enough. It has to be on Rudiger, Sensio, and Bibo to basically bail us out. Um, yeah, it is absolutely calamitous. I mean, Farooq, if you look at how this La Liga season has swung in both sides' favor, if you add Atleti to the mix as well, even they were in with an outside shout for at least a couple of months. But um, what we have basically done time and time again, at least under Carlo this season is dig our own grave, right? Where a potential treble, the first in the club's history, the only thing that we get ridiculed by our enemies, is that we don't really have a treble in our trophy collection. This could have been that year, but by the looks of it, a combination of the schedule getting to us and, like you said, poor management by the board, by the staff, by letting games, we have a tendency to not kill off games. I mean, even when Carlo was at his best, you could argue that we aren't necessarily killing teams when there's a chance to basically put the game to bed. The chances that Mbappe missed, Farouk, walk me through them. I mean, he gave his absolute everything. I mean, I can't fault Mbappe for anything that happened tonight. I mean, he was so unlucky.
I think, you can't fault him for effort, but the point is, like, a player of Kylian Mbappe's quality should be, very low chances. We cannot fault the effort 100%, but I mean, we can criticize the finishing because this is an absolute, elite world-class player, and like the finishing today was absolutely atrocious. Like the one that comes to mind is even, the one from the corner kick just before halftime where he hit the ball against the crossbar. Like, bro, there's literally acres. I mean, it's more difficult to hit the crossbars from there than to not score, bro. It's really much more difficult to hit the crossbar than score. Than score.
Mabaradashvili, who was otherwise excellent, was caught. I mean, he was caught wrong-footed. Like he didn't have what to do. He didn't have any idea what to do.
Exactly, there was absolutely no chance. It was a position where you don't even need any power or pace. You just need to literally tap in. More or less, you can say, just roll the ball into the back of the net. And unfortunately, we, as you said, effort you can fault, but for the finishing, honestly, with Kylian Mbappe, today was. I think he had maybe 7, 8 shots. I can't remember, honestly. But it's of
the Mbappe that started the season, right? But then again, the effort was missing there. At least the effort is there. That's a plus. Even he basically won us the pen as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, it's really, really interesting now that, we get to see more and more of what Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham are doing. And now you put into perspective what Rodrigo and Vinicius are doing. You start to understand that, bro, Vini is the absolute negative in this team. When that's just the truth.
You can't say that.
No, bro. The point is, Vini is a maverick. Vini is a talented player. Maybe the player that has the highest ceiling in the pitch. We have to agree with this. There is no denial of that. But you see the effort that Kylian Mbappe has been willing to put. You see what Jude Bellingham became. You see what Rodrigo has been doing. And you look at all these four. Then who is the outlier here? It's Vini that will lose a ball and not track back. It's Vini that will lose a ball and start complaining that, bro, you lost the ball. Who are you complaining to? They need to be a mandate from Carlo Ancelotti that you're not going to go home until you score 100 consecutive pens for Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Bellingham. There has to be a mandate, bro. Like, how can we keep going on like this? Like, we went from the era where missing a penalty was like, bro, once in 10 years, bro. Now all of a sudden,
100%. Ramos used to step up, score them. Casemiro used to step up, score them.
Once every 3 pens, bro, it's a miss. 1 in 3 pens is a miss, bro.
I'll be honest, right? This is not the sign of a very good side that really can't figure out a designated penalty taker. I mean, it's down to the people who are taking them as well. If they were successful enough to stay on, they would have stayed on. I mean, Jude had a chance, right? He missed. I think, in my opinion, Jude is the best, right? Maybe it's his technique, or maybe it's the conviction with which he usually does strike pens. I do believe Jude is the best, but then you have Mbappe, you have Rodrigo, who was once upon a time also thought is pretty lethal from the pen spot. But this is absolutely an issue that needs to be sorted out ASAP, because in the Champions League you get one chance. We saw Vini miss against Atleti as well. It could be life and death.
And that's the thing. Like, the point is also, when you look at the misses, actually, like, there are some things that I don't know if you remember. Like, there was a game against like this. I forgot who he plays for, but I remember like there was like Sergio Asenio, one of the goalkeepers in the past.
Oh yeah, Villarreal, I think.
Yeah, he saved the Cristiano Ronaldo pen. I think actually he saved 2 consecutive Cristiano pens, like in across the games we played against them. And like for those pens, like, bro, there is nothing that Cristiano could have done. Like, this is just absolute world-class goalkeeping. You understand, right? But then you look
Mm-hmm.
at the pen that also, like, we have David Soria against Benzema as well in the previous year. I feel like that was a really good, penalty save. But then you look at the pens that we've been missing, whether it's Mbappe against the Liverpool goalkeeper, or like Vinicius now today as well. It's like, bro, it's just like a difficult penalty, man. It's not like a
Yeah.
phenomenal save. It's just like a shaky playing, no pace, very slow.
Placement is posh. There is no
Exactly,
power in
placement
the
is
shot.
poor.
I
So
mean,
it's
they're nervous. Vinny is under pressure.
exactly.
I mean, the crowd was booing him literally. So
I mean, this
um,
is what comes with it. So this is the thing. Like,
mm.
if you're saying you're gonna come back and win the
Yeah,
Ballon d'Or, then
I'm
you
not
have to
making an
show us,
excuse for him, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just trying to
I get you,
understand
I
what's
get you.
going
But
on.
the point is, this guys needs to step up, man. They need to take.
Mm.
I'm saying, like, honestly, jokes aside, Carlo needs to make these people understand that these are
Yeah,
moments that are really important. These pens could literally make when you go and you play against teams, like, especially now we're going to play Arsenal, who are like literally team of giants. It's going to be difficult to create
yeah,
chances against those guys, and then you get a pen and you miss it, bro.
yeah,
What are you talking about? These are really, really important things. Like, a pen should literally be almost like a 90% chance of a goal. But for us, it's more about a 50% chance right now.
yeah. Nobody's confident. Nobody is confident. The people who are stepping up to take up and are not confident. I mean, yeah. I've no idea how I survived the pen. I mean the shootout against the Letty as well. Considering our pen record, but thankfully, the boys stepped up. But this is absolutely, like you said, an area of concern that that needs to be ironed out, man. There is still 2 big months of the season left to play for, and I still do believe there's everything left to win as well. Um, but yeah, I'll read out a couple of comments from Ashik. Ashik was mentioning, is it too much to ask from the club to give us an opportunity to have a fun LVR post match? Even when we win, we can't have one. I used to be an advocate for Carlo as a gaffer. I mean, this season, Ashik, we can't have, like, comparing to last year, right? Any season looks average. I mean, last year was one of those once in a lifetime seasons. I truly believe that. But the amount of injuries, the fairy tale stories like Lonen's, Jude Bellingham's first season, him not being a striker, getting those kind of numbers, all of them coming together, you know, you can't really expect every season to be that. I mean, I understand us as Madridistas, we expect every season to, kind of be there or thereabouts in terms of success and, the way we approach games. But this season, you miss Carvajal. That is a major blow. I mean, with him, I truly do believe we have better options defensively, offensively. Um, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. I
Bro,
don't
man,
know if
I'm,
Farouk
I'm
agrees
gonna
with it.
tell you now, man. You
Mm,
actually mentioned Carval, bro. You know
mm,
how much I love Trent and everything. I've always been an advocate of Trent. But
yeah,
if Trent comes to this team and we are playing like we're playing, bro, I'm telling you, come February next season,
yeah,
we won't even have episodes to discuss anymore because we're absolutely out of every fucking competition that exists on the surface of the earth. Because oppositions are gonna target Trent Alexander-Arnold, and
mm,
because the way we are playing right now, he's gonna be a
yeah,
weakness.
yeah.
He's gonna be an absolute weakness.
I don't think he'll be starting entirely next season, but it depends on how Carvajal returns as well. But I do think he will be an understudy at least for a bit. For a bit.
I mean, the
So,
point is, unless
mm,
something changes drastically, this is the thing. Like,
mm,
if
yeah,
Carvajal
yeah,
comes
yeah.
back, he will require a bit of time to, get back to full
Mm,
fitness and whatever. You understand? So,
mm,
unless and until if the team starts to play
yeah.
as a team, I do believe we have the personnel to maximize the potential that Trent actually brings to this team. I think people
Mm,
like Fede Valverde, Jude Bellingham, and those guys from Vinga can actually, maximize and mask the deficiencies of Trent. But the way we've seen the last two games, bro, not even the last two
yeah.
games, a lot of games we've seen, you understand? It's just about moments of individual brilliance and all that. But teams are going to just target areas to exploit. See, teams are going to look at spaces that exist and just try to find their man and put them there. So honestly, I think it's not a slight on Trent as a player. I think Trent has improved
Mm,
defensively, and I think like his defensive issues have been exaggerated because he's been like fleeced by literally the best wingers in the Premier League. It's not like someone randomly on the street, but the reality is that Trent needs a lot of covering.
mm,
And if we're
mm,
gonna keep
yeah.
playing the way we're playing right now,
Who knows? If the season doesn't go according to plan, then Carlo might not be here. My goodness. But yeah, I just hope and pray, man, that we have
Even whatever
something
happens,
to.
man, whatever happens, in my opinion, it's just time. It is time, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, yeah,
Even if we
everybody
go on to
agrees to
win the
that.
treble,
I mean,
even if we go on to win the
what
treble,
can
it
I
is
say?
time. But I don't think
Yeah.
Carlo goes, man. I don't think Carlo goes.
Mm,
I think irrespective
mm.
of what happens,
Even if
even
he
if he
wins the
wins.
treble, he'll stay. I mean, come on.
No,
You
even if
can't
it, I
decide
mean,
for
if he
anyone.
wins the treble, he's gonna stay, of course. But I'm saying that even if he loses out on all three titles, I think he stays.
Mm, because Xabi Alonso has decided to continue
I
for
don't
another year,
because
right?
exactly that's the thing. Like you look at
Yeah.
it and like who, unless you're gonna bring back the Zidane, so you have to consider also like this things. It's like
Mm,
so I mean, who's there in the market realistically?
yeah. Yeah.
Although so
But let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not talk about not winning anything because we have a big game in a couple of days. There's everything to win for. Um, and if we actually manage to get past Arsenal, it's another big one. Maybe in PSG or Villa. Who knows? So there's at least a few big games to be played. We travel to Barca as well next month, so um, we just have to take it game by game. As things stand, it might look a bit um, yeah, we might look a bit despondent, but it's only natural. It's only natural because we had the league in the palm of our hands.
yep.
Really, we lost to Betis. We lost to um, did we drop points to Osasuna? If I'm not mistaken, I can't
Yeah,
really
I think
remember.
Osasuna, Mallorca as well. I think.
Yeah, so there you go. Ashik was mentioning, but we have reached the limit with him. We need different approach and different thinking. The game has changed, and we need to adapt and adopt and adapt. Adapt and adopt. Okay, there you go. Ashok was also mentioning, I'm so pissed that I'm finally going to went and restart writing a Real Madrid blog again. Um, right. He was also mentioning I'm at a point where I'm willing to pay for a happy Farouk and Sunaid, and the team doesn't fucks it up. I mean, what can we say, right? For effort, I mean, I've seen far worse Madrid performances this season alone, than this. We did create a lot of chances. It just that the end product, and also we have to give him the flowers. I despise him. He's not kind of an antagonist or someone who's a wind up merchant. But yeah, Mamadashvili, you can't really be fond of him, right? Like whenever we have played him, he has been a thorn in our side. Great keeper. There's a reason why Liverpool paid what, like 30 odd million for him or something. So he is phenomenal. I mean, without his positioning, without his you know expertise, with his gloves, I think Fede scores that against any other keeper. Fede scores that because the reaction save from Mamadashvili, he basically almost caught the ball. I was absolutely blown away by that. I was thinking, yeah, this really looks like it's not a night for him.
Yeah, that's just it. Like it's a. It's that's just the thing, like when you go against this keeper, it's like, wow, Rashidi is good, but this season he actually hasn't been that good, But then
Mm.
when these guys play against Real Madrid, like it's just like, they all of a sudden, find a way to become, Super Saiyan and like find a way to, become another level. You're talking about even like, the Akagi as well, he's been out for a while, coming back and all of a sudden, he comes back with a bang, the captaincy, and yeah, here he is, with the goal. And then even he scores a comical own goal, and then the gods smile upon him and it's offside, So like that's how just,
Oh,
that's just the thing, like everything that's gonna go wrong will go wrong, when these guys play Real Madrid. That's just the thing, unfortunately. But we have to get used to this. Like it's not new. This is what's happened years and years and years, But right now, it's just like our players and our team and our coaching staff is just not up to it, honestly.
couple more comments from Ashik. Ashik was mentioning set pieces, including penalties for Madrid, is like a goal opportunity expunged by the opponent. I can't even argue with anyone anymore. We are a shit team, talented on paper, but shit on the pitch. I mean, this season, yeah, there has been glimpses of a team that is in sync, that works in tandem, works for each other. We'll see that again, probably on Tuesday night. I mean, the motivation would be of a different gravy in North London. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Carlo and the boys were aware. Valencia were on the side that we met what, end of December, early Jan. away at the Mestalla. The new coach has basically propelled them back into a mid-table position. They were struggling for relegation when we saw them last, and this was a completely different side, Valencia side, that had something to prove. They were basically out of every single competition, no chance of Europe, still fighting to make their survival absolute. So they had more on their minds, I think, and us basically having Arsenal midweek, I think we are completely. It's not an excuse, but I'm just telling you, these are the factors involved, and also like Farooq said, the Sociedad, the 120 minutes didn't help either. But yeah, Barcelona play Betis, Farooq, in an hour or so, in 2 hours. Sorry, in 2 hours. Um, Betis has been good. They bet us. Apparently, I saw Rohit mentioned in the group chat that Isco is out or something. I mean, even the best of sides away to Barca, can they really do much? Can Betis do us a favor? I don't think so. But I'm just hoping against hoping.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, one thing that you have to put your mind, or rather rely on is the fact that you're not expecting Barcelona to be perfect from now until the end of the season. So these games like against Real Betis, like it's the game that gives you the hope. But the issue that I have right now is that even for all of this to fall into place, we need to beat Barcelona at the Camp Nou. And right now, unfortunately, I would say I do not feel confident about that. This is the big issue I have. I do believe the season is not over. I believe Barcelona is not going to be perfect till the end of the season. Honestly, I genuinely believe that. But I feel like the issue is that even if, everything is laid on the table, we
will still manage to fumble
exactly.
it.
We go for the game at the Camp Nou. It's like a 3-point or 2-point or a 1-point gap. It's just literally winners take it all. One shootout. I still feel like at this point, at least, I don't feel that confident that we're going to make this happen. Betis might be able to do a job. They might push Barcelona. Barcelona might eventually win, but I do think down the line Barcelona is going to drop points. I think they have 8 games or 9 games left. So I think 8 games. Yeah, I think 8 games because we've played 31. They've played 30. So they have 8 games left. We have 7 games left. One of those games against.
We have played 30. This was the 30th game, right? Or was it the 31st?
No, I thought this was our 31st game. Barca has played 30.
Oh, this was the 31st.
Maybe I'm high return. I'm not sure. I'm not.
I think you're right. I probably made a mistake on the thumb, but yeah.
Let's see. I'm not sure. Maybe it's 30 or 30. But let's see. The point is, let's assume we've played 30. We have 8 games to go. Barca has 9 games to go inside, and one of those games is at the Camp Nou against Barcelona for us. So Barcelona in 9 games, I think, are not going to be perfect. This is just it. Like they're not going to. I don't think they're going to win 9 consecutive games. They're going to draw points here and there. But the issue is, can we be able to capitalize on that?
Yeah.
Can we? That's the big question.
And before that, we have to play them in the Copa del Rey final as well in Seville. So.
Oh, is the Copa is before? I thought it was after because I think the final.
No, Copa del Rey final is on the 25th or 26th
of April.
April.
Oh, I thought it was in May. Because then we played them May 11, right?
I think so. Yeah. Man, things aren't really looking great for us, is it? I mean, considering our record against Barca this season, the way Barcelona puts basically anyone away is super concerning. I mean, at this rate, we have to basically hope that the Champions League cashes out, and gives us something to cheer about the season. Because as things stand, although we are in the run-in for all 3 titles, it looks like Champions League is the most likely, option that we can completely 100% focus on. And
imagine a nightmare scenario, Sunil. You play Barcelona, on the 25th of April, then you play them 11th of May, and then you play them on the 1st of June in the UCL final.
The last time something along those lines happened, I almost killed myself back in 2011. So,
Yeah. You get the gist, bro. You get the gist.
I'm not ready for it. And that was that side. I mean, when you're watching it live, you don't give a fuck about who Messi is, who Xavi or Iniesta is, But in hindsight, you can at least take some solace in the fact that, that was Messi. that was Guardiola's prime Barcelona. But this
And that's why the Copa del Rey in 2011 was a very very
yeah,
2000
that's why we celebrate. We had a parade for it.
it was a big deal, man, because the hurt was just too much when they literally kicked us out of the league, kicked us out of the Champions League, and we had to win literally everything in the space of like 4 weeks. So that's why I was like just bringing up, like if we start playing from the 25th of April to the first week of June, it's more or less a 1 month span, and either we end it all for them or they end it all for us. And I do feel like we're really heading for a Champions League final. Real Madrid, Barcelona. I do hope we can get past this super giant team that Arsenal have. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Arsenal doesn't look great. I'll give you that.
Arsenal is not looking good. I agree with that. But the point is that Arsenal has a weapon that's literally our prime weakness, which is a set piece.
Obviously.
A set piece for Arsenal is like a penalty, and then for us, as Ashik also pointed,
without Gabriel in transition, they struggle. I saw that. At least Everton's forwards gave them plenty to think.
But then what you have to also notice, like the team against Everton was like literally B team. Like it's Raheem Sterling. Like come on, like it's not like the proper team.
Yeah. But at the back, it was mostly. I mean, Lewis Kelly started, right? Ben White started, who was probably going to start at right back again, or probably centre back maybe. Who knows? But I felt like Arsenal's backline at least was the starting usual. But I'm not sure about Sterling. Also, I wanted to pick your brains on the way that we struggled for width, man. Especially in the first half, it was almost like everyone was inverted. Brahim was central. It was basically Lucas Vazquez and Fran Garcia. Vinny, where is Vinny? Mbappe is again central. It's either all of them drifting out to the flanks or all of them, huddling half spaces altogether. I felt like we had no outball, most of the times. Usually we can find Vasquez and Fran in spaces that help us, pin the opposition, fullbacks into their own halves, or just put in decent crosses. Even Jude Bellingham. We couldn't find Jude Bellingham for the first 20-25 minutes. We were just going super direct, hoping and praying without really pulling Valencia out of their mid block. Fran Garcia, basically, Farouk. Mendy isn't going to be back. Like, can we trust him for Tuesday?
Against Bukayo Saka? No.
No?
Actually, no, I do not think so. Again, I don't want to be harsh because I feel like maybe this actually, I think it's the worst performance of Fran this season, I think. Because like Fran, has stepped up a lot. We have to give credit where it's due, but I do hope that he's not going to have, such a bad performance again like he had today. But I just, again, because you look at it, like in the midweek, like Fran didn't start, so he had all the rest. It's not like he played 120 minutes and he's like tired and he didn't start the game. Okay, he came on, but he didn't start the game. So like he had some time to rest and recuperate, but still it was quite shocking because there were times, honestly, so in the game I felt we were playing 10, we were like down to 10 men because I just kept seeing like they were more white, they were more like Valencia players and they were white shirts. So it was like, I don't know why. It's like, why are people not moving? And as you also rightly pointed, because we know, like, everyone knows Brahim likes to operate in the house space. He's not someone that's going to hog the wing and touch that and stuff like that. But today, the I don't know, the ineffectiveness of Vinicius Jr. was so obvious. Because as you said, there was absolutely zero width, to us today. There was absolutely nothing. Even when Rodrigo came on as well, he also tried to drift into the central spaces as well. So it's sometimes it's really difficult to understand what the instructions the coaching staff are giving to the team. It's difficult to understand what we want, what the target is, what the game plan is. Honestly,
again, we keep coming back to this fundamental issue. The way that we are set up, we don't have. See, my biggest question is right to this board, to everyone who's involved in the structuring of this team for the last 3-4 years. We had a perfect game plan in terms of having someone like Hossil last year, right? We saw how well it worked. Someone who
Yeah.
is decent on the ball, who has pretty good positional awareness, can come in clutch, man. That is an age-old tactic that uh, we ourselves thrived on for years. Why couldn't we, sign someone? Like we had guys like Latassa. I mean, he might not be as good as Hossilu, but I'm just putting names out there who is a target man who we can throw on. So that
Yeah.
these guys who are running down the byline, when they cross, and it's basically, like I hope someone gets on the end of it. There is no belief with those crosses. I can clearly see that Vasquez, all he does is provide a good cross. So he would just bank on his, you know, um, premeditated move to actually whip one in. But then it's Jude Bellingham or bust. What can we do? What can we really do? I mean, when I watch that happen, it's Mbappe trying to get on the end of it, he misses it. Vinicius trying to get on the end of a header, misses it. Tchouameni not good in the air. From corners,
The
I
last
don't know,
sequence of the
bro.
game was Rodrigo hitting the cross into the box that literally met no one. It went out for a goal kick. It was a cross into the box that went out for a goal kick. And you rightly make a good point, actually, Sunil, the point, because we've seen in the last couple of years as well, even when
Mm.
you take away like the player that like that Jose was, we had like Gonzalo Garcia score a winner or equalizer. We had Alvaro as well. Alvaro Rodriguez score a winner or equalizer here and there. So it tells that actually you do not need to have a world class player. You do not need to have someone who is
Yeah.
absolutely even in of the ilk of Oselu. You
We,
just need
we,
to have
we, we are not asking for your caress, right?
Okay, yeah, I mean, we don't. But what I'm saying is that we don't even need to have a player in the ilk of Ozil. We just need to have someone who is willing to content and sit on the bench, do the work when it
Yeah.
comes. He's always just gonna go on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in games that are very tight, like this game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just throw him in such that when
Sign
the
fucking
pressure
Chris
comes,
Wood, bro.
exactly. What then? I mean, Chris Wood has almost 20 goals in the Premier League, bro. So I mean,
No, I'm just like I'm pretty sure he'll drop those 20 goals to come play for Madrid. I'm just putting names out there, you
but
know.
also because what you have to see is that that's literally what happened, right? So like
Mm.
the Valencia coach throw on two traditional centre forwards, Rafa Mir, Hugo Duro.
Rafa Mir,
They literally
there you go.
combined and they scored.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, like like of course, like yeah, football evolves and everything, but even we've seen Guardiola play with company as a centre forward when push comes to shove. We've seen Guardiola play with Piqué as a centre forward when push comes to shove.
Rodiger trying to act like Ramos isn't gonna happen,
So
man.
this is the thing, like like this is just football is this is what traditional football is like. You need that big body. Sometimes when it doesn't work, just hit it, go long, throw it, and see what happens. Just create chaos. Because what happens eventually is that even that big body becomes like
Yeah.
a gravity center, which like
Yeah.
players gravitate towards him, and it creates
Mm.
an opening for other players as well.
Yeah.
You understand?
Creates
So
openings or just get a knockdown
exactly, get a
from the big
knockdown, and
man.
even the goal we scored today, it was a knockdown
Mm.
from Bellingham to Vini.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So these are just something that are very, traditional. And yeah, we're moving away from things that I absolutely believe that, we've had this discussion a lot in the past with more. I absolutely believe that you do not need a center forward to win stuff, but
Mm.
you need a system for that. But what we have seen is that we do not have a system. We just go for chaos, individual brilliance. So in that case, you need to have all traditional tools that you need. And right now we do not have that. We do not have that. As we saw with with
Yeah.
Rudiger, he was there for the last chance of the game. But Rudiger is a center back, bro.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, he's gonna miss that anyways.
And even like you can't even really make the excuse that Valencia was in a low block defending for their lives with 10 men behind the ball. I don't think so.
No, exactly. No, I don't think that was the case. I actually don't think that was. We had chances, as you have said. Like we had chances, we had shots, but we just couldn't, get stuff done. No,
And they
definitely
were
not.
missing three of the mainstay starters as well. So there you go. Um yeah. I mean, how happy will Valencia be, right? I mean, how happy will Barcelona be? How happy will
Exactly.
the will the Roji Blancos be? I mean, I'll be super honest, right? This game basically for all those people. I mean, many people are already beyond Carlo, but the people who are on the fence, this game is enough to push them off it. It won't push me off, but yeah, like I could see it all across Twitter, and some of my friends, they're just completely done with him. We can't really put the excuses of the calendar congestion to this scenario. I mean, there is absolutely no excuses for a loss at home to a Valencia side that has never won or drew a game, if I'm not mistaken, against the top three. That is the big three, at least, right? Atleti, Barcelona, and Madrid since 2019. Since 2019, that's 5 years, 6 years ago. That's a damning stat. I mean, how many bad stats does Carlo have to break before he's finally asked to go? I don't want to see the guy who gave me three big Champions League, arguably the happiest night of my life, limp out of the door. I want him to be given a farewell to remember. I want him to walk off into the sunset with at least a Champions League this season. I'm just hoping and praying. But yeah, I don't want him to go as well. For me, it's a moral dilemma. I mean, like, should I take the best interest of my team's present over someone who gave me so much nostalgia? I don't know. It's pretty jarring watching my feelings fluctuate throughout the game, because when I'm watching the game, I want him out. It's just not good enough, man. Not good enough at all. If he needs to find a plan, he needs to ask for a plan. He needs to ask the people who, the Jose Angel Sanchez's, of this world, the Juni Khalafats of this world, to actually, help him get someone that is a plan B. When we clearly know that, all three of our front three basically have a clear, glaring weakness. We can't score set pieces. I'm not so sure why it doesn't send alarm bells ringing, because the amount of corners we get given and nothing comes out of it should surely raise, more than a couple of eyebrows across the board meetings, the team meetings. It's beyond me, bro. It's beyond me. Arsenal will be a big test. Yeah, all the people saying, Arsenal season is over. Gabriel is missing. Yeah, I mean, we are coming to town. We are going to be gifting goals. Coming back to the Bernabeu again, Arsenal is with an outside chance. We'll surely give up so many transitions, corners, empty headers. Poor Fran Gonzalez. I mean, on debut as well. Like, who can blame him, right? Who can really blame him? 19 years of age. This is how his debut is supposed to go. Shocking. Usually I have a superstition, or maybe this is contemporary belief, right? On debut, things have to go 10 on 10 for people to actually, it's not exactly the case with everyone. People take, so many detours in life, go to different clubs, make loan moves, find a name elsewhere. But I truly do believe when you're on debut, everything has to go to the T. I feel sorry for him. I mean, if people ask, oh, yeah, you debut for Madrid, what was the score like? 2-1. Lost to a Valencia side who hasn't beaten us at home since 2008.
Yeah.
Not good reading, Poor kid. A few more of the comments quickly. Moon was mentioning Fede is not fully fit. Yeah, he has some foot issues, man. He's been always clutching his toe. Every time he goes down, doesn't look great. Ash was mentioning, I'm okay with losing to anyone other than Arsenal. Don't want to have to listen to Ty from AFTV. Yeah, 100%. Watch out for the preview. We hopefully will have it tomorrow or the day after. Nothing is confirmed yet, but yeah, fingers crossed. Ashik was mentioning, hate them or love them. Barcelona is the deserving La Liga champions this season. And even by some miracle, if we pull it off, we are not deserving of it. Right. He was asking Farouk, they'll drop. He was basically, telling this to you, Farouk. They'll drop points today against the GOAT and the deadliest football move of all time. The spin will put the spin on the league standing. I think he's talking about
Referring to Anthony, right? Yeah.
Anthony. Right. Ashik was mentioning UCL final question mark. Right now, in the current form, we may not be able to beat Arsenal or PSG. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Ashik was mentioning sign Vitinha, PSG, and Nasa have a good relationship. I'm sure Nasa will be excited to do business with Madrid again. Um, yeah. Yeah. Any positives, Farouk? Anything that we can take from this game? I thought Luka Modric did his best. Couple of very very good balls um, into the box. I mean, Mbappe nearly pulled off the cutback. And who was it at the end of it who couldn't connect? Oh, that was the Ferre chance. That was the Ferre chance that Babadashvili saved. Modric's ball into
Oh yeah,
Mbappe.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
and then he cuts it back. Modric did great. Carlo wisely pulled him off. At the 70th minute mark to get him some rest because we'll need him. Maybe not from the start, but if things get sticky at the Emirates, we need him to calm things down 100%. But yeah, Farouk, any positives at all?
Difficult now. Honestly, I just can't
Mm,
see anything. Can't see
yeah.
anything to that I can remember or pinpoint. Honestly, maybe
Mm.
yeah. You mentioned the Luka Modric. Maybe it could be.
Jude
But other than
Bellingham
that,
tried. If you remember the
yeah,
solo run, how good
Jude,
was that? How good
yeah,
was
Jude
that? My
tried, man. Jude
goodness.
tried. I have no issue with the trying, but like, bro, we are not in the business of trying, man. We need more than
Yeah,
that. We
yeah.
need more
Inches
than that.
wide,
So I do get what you're saying,
unlucky.
bro.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm not too sure if there is any
No positive. 6 games left in April.
positive. Yeah.
Arsenal away, Alaves away, Arsenal at home, Bilbao at home. Good luck with that. Getafe away, and then Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final. My goodness. Right. Carlo already said that. The La Liga title is more difficult. Um, he shouldn't be throwing in the towel, man. But yeah, he was also honest about the pen situation. Bellingham missed, Mbappe missed, Vinicius missed. I wanted to give him some confidence. I mean, I could understand that. I 100%. That was the first thing. Like I knew that. Oh yeah, Vinicius really he's not getting the greatest reception from the crowd. But then that's exactly what came to my mind. This is a confidence. This was at least a hopeful shot of confidence booster. That the coaching staff wanted to give Vinny. Um, yeah, Thibaut should be back. They're saying good stuff. Yeah, we created many chances. Yeah, no shit, Carlo. This wasn't a deserved loss. Are you joking? Oh, my goodness. We'll play a different game against Arsenal. They'll attack more. We lost this game. So you got the gist, right?
Yeah.
He basically said, yeah, I'm going to do what I did at the Etihad last season. My God. My goodness. Watching Trossard, kill Rudiger. Not ready. Not ready. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Ancelotti was mentioning we lost this game on small details. Madrid deserved to win. Um, yeah, people asked whether Mbappe is a good option as the main penalty taker. I don't think so. I don't think so. He had a decent rep right before coming to us with pens.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not like he's been a sustained penalty taker as well, with Kylian
Yeah,
Mbappe. Let's not forget, like, when
mm,
the teams he's played, like, he's always played with Neymar,
yeah.
even Messi as well
Messi.
at a
Yeah.
certain point, like he had Edison Cavani and so on and so forth, so he's not been like a certain bona fide penalty taker as well. So, yeah.
Mm. Ashok is mentioning bring back Hoselu so that he can finally get that hat trick and Farouk can buy me the jersey. I mean, yeah, well, yeah. Throwback, throwback. He was also mentioning, what do you guys think of playing Jude as a striker and get a midfielder to play behind him? Rumors that Real is looking to sign Bruno. Not sure how to feel about that. Yeah, I think it's a shit tire rumors. I wouldn't really buy much
Real
into it.
Madrid are looking to sign who?
Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, Bruno is like 30. He's 30 years old. Unless he's gonna come for a free transfer, why would you send Bruno right now?
Yeah, yeah. Ashik was mentioning play Jude as a false nine, as a nine, and Arda Ibrahim in his natural cam, or even Rodrigo there. Mini Mbappe and Jude up front with Jude as the point. He can play link up like Benz and provides the big presence in the box. I mean, not a bad shout, you know. I do think Jude will bang there. But will Mbappe and Vinny be, yeah, like, oh yeah, we'll provide for Jude? No, I don't know. I don't know. But
I mean, but where do
I
you
don't
throw
know.
Rodrigo in this situation? That's the question as well.
Yeah, Rodrigo is basically a super sub. I haven't been really happy with his recent performances as well, past couple of weeks. The effort is there, but quality, yeah, shocking, shocking. We need more from all these guys. I mean, Mbappe is the only person who can really, feel like he did his fair, diligence these last couple of months. Vinicius had a, you know, couple of great assists against Sociedad, but yeah, even he has been, yeah, feeling himself back into form. They're not really in the best shape of their season. Not good timing. But yeah, Jude as the focal point is a good option. But then we lose his two-way work rate. That's a huge part of why we do survive the games we have absolutely no right to. Jude and Fede's work rate. So losing that, who will we replace that with? Chomeni who jogs, Kamavinga who is basically in sleep mode. Yeah, there you go. Um, that's why a better coach, not a better coach. Carlo is Don Carlo for a reason, right? He is the GOAT. But a coach with a different ideology would train Kema, who is highly rated, who has the physique, who has the ball playing abilities, who has uh, the presence. Like he's a big man to do that kind of job and probably ease him into the side, give him minutes outside of the Copa del Rey. I mean, yeah, we can't really expect that from this current setup, but I'm just hoping. Um, Vinny Mbappe and Jude up front with Jude as the point as he can play link up like Benson and can provide the big presence in the box 100%. Ashik was mentioning the only positive today after every Madrid shit performance is that I have the LBA post match to look forward as a therapy. Thanks for the love, but yeah, we are looking for therapy ourselves. I mean, from this shit, not so sure how we can really help Ashik, but um, the only way is up. This is a real low point in the season, and that too in April. Not great. When was the last time we had a major setback in April? Um, 22,
City
23
game?
is a blur. I can't even remember. But
Yeah,
21, 22, what was that?
The City game, yeah.
The 4-0, yeah, not the Champions League, but La Liga, if you remember the Clásico in 21, 22. The 4-0. Wasn't it April?
Yeah, it was April actually. Yeah.
It
I
was
think it
April,
was
right?
April. Yeah.
So after that, we went on to do not so bad, right? So,
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
the league had already been won at that point, and like with
oh
Barcelona
yeah,
were never catching us, and we also won the Champions League that year as well. So yeah.
yeah. I'm just trying to manifest that good run of form we had after that. Um, but yeah. Ashik was mentioning Mbappe missed two pens earlier this season, but since then, every time he was called upon recently, I think he did decent. That's what you're saying. Um, Ashik was mentioning Joe, but he basically does the tour of the Bernabeu when he plays. I mean, he has been decent. He hasn't been as bad as he started the season. But yeah, we need a lot more from all these guys. Ceballos again, huge mess. He was mentioning Ceballos can provide that ball playing ability once he's back. He'll be back probably end of April. So yeah, the entire Arsenal tie and the Copa del Rey final is up to Kamavinga, Chouameni, a
Oh,
half
really?
with
I thought
Fede.
Dani Ceballos was going to be back, for the second leg of the Arsenal game.
Easy, because the last time I read it was end of April. around 26 or something. No,
I
is
was
it
reading like Carlo was actually saying like Dan Ceballos could be available for the game against Arsenal, but it might come too early, which is the first leg, which is more or less in a couple of days. But for the second leg,
okay?
he should be
Okay,
able to
okay.
make it
If
along.
that's the case, then that's a massive boost. Massive boost. I don't think he'll still start the second leg, but yeah, if we can start easing him in from there on in, maybe probably there's an outside chance he can play the final. Because with this midfield, man, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Right, right. I think that's pretty much it. We covered most of what was a pretty dry performance. Big up our sponsors. All the links are in the description below. Big up people tuning in later on as well. Big up our audio community for supporting us all throughout these last 3.5, 4 years, for being a backbone, for sending in positive, negative feedback, and making this a two-way street. Basically, um, yeah, letting us hold civil conversations. We have to, give a fair share of what we have done so far. In our little journey to the people who actually, yeah, follow us around the world. When you guys tell us that we can accompany you on night drives, your morning routines, gym routines, all of that, it's super humbling. So yeah, keep supporting the thing. If you do like what we do, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe to the channel, and also, yeah, recommend it to people who would love Madrid. This is talking about the game. Um, Ashik was asking, when will you guys do a call in again? A call in at this rate, it's going to be super negative. I'm not in the headspace for that, at least while the season is going on. So maybe towards the end of the season, before
Yeah.
the Club World Cup or something. The schedule is super jam packed. That's one of the reasons we couldn't really do much side content this year. It's crazy, but hopefully, I'll keep that in mind, Ashik. Before the end of the season, we can make something happen. But yeah, what more are we gonna discuss? Carlo out, right? That's the only thing. I'm not a huge fan of diving into that. We have done this to death, but um, hopefully we wouldn't need a call in, on a negative note. So hopefully we have good stuff to talk about. Why not have a call in for something positive, right? For once, um, right. I recommend a postseason and another one for preseason. I mean, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? But yeah, big up the people in the chat as well. Big up Farouk. Watch out for the preview. I'm not sure when it's gonna be. Tomorrow or Monday. Um, but yeah, Arsenal big game midweek. Arsenal away. They're not looking great. We are looking worse. I was just happy that they dropped points at Everton, but we did worse. They are missing one of their big leaders in Gabriel. We have to absolutely capitalize. They're gonna be they're gonna be hoping and praying that the first leg gives them the kind of lead that they would want to take to the Bernabeu, and we have to absolutely make sure that we have no deficit to bring back home. Massive test of metal, massive test of Carlos' game plan, Carlos' experience. Arteta is going to be prepared. I better hope these guys work on the set piece routine and whatnot. Farouk, any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, man, just hopefully, we can see a reaction from these players when we go to, London on I think it's on Tuesday, no, on Wednesday. The game's on Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, right? Yeah. So I hope we can see a massive reaction from them, honestly, because otherwise, like, there is just no way out, as you said. Like,
Mm,
Arsenal are not in the best of shape, but like, we're also like not looking good as also. Like, I hope we can see reactions from, the likes of Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham, just, to name those guys and yeah, get the
mm,
job done on Tuesday, more or less.
100%. Ashok was mentioning Arsenal doesn't fear the white kit because they play Spurs twice a season. Um, we should play in the orange kit of the Emirates. I don't think the orange kit it will be an ISO. I do think it'll be the gray kit, the third kit, with the collar. I hope. yeah, I just hope we bring back at least a goal advantage back to the Bernabeu. But yeah, until next time, boys. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.